The No New Friends podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. For the best in below-the-waist grooming, visit manscaped.com. Use promo code NNF for 20% off. That is manscaped.com.
Hey, Chris, it's Ryan from Don't Wreck Yourself. I heard a rumor that your birthday is on May 30th. Happy birthday, Chris. But I'm actually just here to plug my own birthday. You were born on May 30th. I was born on June 1st. So my birthday's right around the corner. But I just want you to know, Chris, that I'm going through a pretty good period of my life right now. So when I blow out my candles and make a wish this year, my wishes are going to be for you. That's right. I'm donating my wishes. You need all the wishes you can get. Happy birthday.
Broadcasting from the Sandpiper Vacation Studios. It's time for the No New Friends podcast. The podcast for adults who love to laugh at adulting. The good, the bad, and the funny.
Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's showtime. It's showtime.
That's right. You're listening to the No New Friends podcast, voted number 1 by our friends and family. We are the podcast for adults who love to laugh at adulting. If you'd like to connect with us, all of our social media links, they're right there on our website, nonewfriendspodcast.com. While you're there, you can check out our really sweet merchandise, including the brand new Jobe the Hut shirt, which Chris is sporting this evening. So check out all of our sweet merchandise. You can join our clubhouse, become a Patreon member, a friend with benefits, and you can watch us as we record the entire episode live. Also, don't forget, you can check us out on Twitch every Wednesday night, where we're streaming segment 1 and all of After Dark. You don't want to miss that. It's a super fun time, and we're going to be rolling out something cool with Patreon, where it's a 7-day free trial thing. So you can, if you see a video and you want to see it, and you want to, or you want to jump on for 7 days, you can do that. It's really cool. We're going to roll that out. Also, there's still time to nominate us for Orlando Weekly's Best of Orlando competition under the category Local Notables, Best Local Podcast, and Local Big Shot that's not a politician, Mary Reedy. My name is Scott. I'm the host. With me, my co-host, everybody's favorite food truck critic, Sarah.
Hello.
Our producer, Alex.
Producer and history guy.
And Jobe the Hut, the scumbag reselling hoarder, Chris.
I have had it with these motherfucked. Oh, I missed the bleep button. That was what the beep was that you heard earlier.
It all makes sense now.
I'm not even going to finish the quote.
Care Bears in Wonderland.
That was it.
That was planes on a train. No, trains. No, wow, snakes on a plane.
I think it was like Samuel L. Jackson on a plane or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that was one of the worst movies. That was a terrible movie. Terrible movie. I did go into it with very low expectations, though.
I love that movie. I don't know what you're talking about.
10 out of 10 on IMDb.
It's up there.
All right, Sarah, have you seen that movie?
No,
you're too young for that
never.
movie. Yeah.
No, I mean I remember when it came out, but I just nope. Something about the title, just not interested.
It's a little too outright.
Yeah, it was a little bit out there in your face. But
yeah,
I don't know. Speaking of being too young for stuff, so my oldest daughter graduated high school this weekend.
Wow.
So
wow, congratulations.
Yeah,
well,
thanks.
actually, I'm sorry.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
Congratulations on paying for college. Like, I don't. What do you say?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you. I don't know. It's weird because she's my baby. She's 17 years old, and I remember her first steps and my mom making a video to Butterfly Kisses, and it was super cute. And now she's 17, and now I'm gonna cry. This is not the sad episode. After Dark's the sad episode. What am I doing? But it's so funny. Michaela is the biggest sweetheart in the world. She's just so sweet. Would give you, the shirt off her back. It's such a sweetheart. But she's like super complicated, right? Like she goes through these kind of emotional swings, where she wants you there, she doesn't want you there. It's weird. And I was like trying to figure out what exactly she was thinking about something. And I don't remember the context of this, but I'm talking to Rachel. I'm like, I don't get this. I was like, it is really, really difficult trying to understand a teenage girl. And Rachel laughs at me and she's like, what are you talking about? You are a teenage girl. And Rachel's not the funniest person in the world, but every once in a while she just has these zingers, and it's usually at my expense. So coming soon, I guess Rachel will be on this podcast because then she'll be hilarious.
One more person to be making fun of you, or
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
She does it well. So my daughter lives in St. Augustine. So we're driving to St. Augustine, and you know me, I try to manipulate every conversation, everything around the podcast. Okay.
No.
So yeah. So we're driving and I'm like, hey guys, I don't think we have any plans tonight. Everything is tomorrow. So why don't we just let me know right now? I can go on my phone and go to www.seamericatours.net, and I could go to Night Watchman Ghost Tour, use the promo code NNF, and we'll get 25% off our purchase. Instantly, Rachel was like highly annoyed with me. And, my mom's like, well, I really can't, do all that walking and all that. Luckily for me, because I know I would have pouted and insisted until I got my way. Luckily for me, the weather didn't hold out. So that was kind of a built-in excuse not to do the ghost tour.
I'm surprised you didn't buy umbrellas for everybody. Like, hey guys, got ponchos.
I got ponchos and umbrellas.
I love a good deal, of course. So I would want to take advantage of that moment to do something fun for a discounted price.
Right. And Sarah would have asked for a bigger discount. She's like, well, it is raining and my hair's going to get all wet. I had to purchase a poncho. So I think maybe another 25% is in order. I can see that.
Try that. Try that and tell them it's Sarah from the New Friends podcast.
For your sake, I wouldn't do that. Okay.
We'd like to use our Sarah discount, please. So my mom's a sweetheart. Okay. But my mom, and this is what's funny. My mom was a media specialist at school. Like she was a teacher and then she became the media specialist. So she was up to date on technology before I was. Well, since being retired, she's a little bit behind. So we get to our Airbnb, which was amazing, by the way. It was in the middle of a ghetto, but this was like the nicest house in the ghetto. And they put a lot of money onto the inside. So the pictures on Airbnb.com or whatever, it looks like a freaking resort. And then we drive into, it wasn't the ghetto. It was more like the white ghetto. So there was a lot of, Trump flags, pickup trucks with antennas,
Scott,
trucks on cinder blocks.
White ghetto opposed to what?
So like Polk County, opposed to... I set myself up for that one.
Alex, cut
that. Oopsie. So we're getting hung. My daughter comes over to check the place out and, welcome us and give us we all had matching t-shirts. It said, on the front, it said 20 and on the back it said 23 and had my last name on it, which was really weird seeing other people wearing my last name on their back. And I was like, why are they wearing my last name? Like, I don't know them. And I forgot my daughter's got my last name. So my mom's like, okay, well, I'm getting kind of hungry. What should we do? And I'm like, well, do you want to do Uber Eats or do you want to go somewhere? What do you want to do? And she's like, well, she couldn't understand that Uber Eats is essentially ordering from the restaurant that she would want to go to. Like she didn't quite get that if she wants to go to Chili's, we can order Chili's Uber Eats or Grubhub or what. She didn't get it. So there was this whole long discussion. So my wife and I go, this is my mom.
So it runs in the family. Okay.
For sure. My dad just learned Venmo. My dad was so excited when he learned how to do his first Uber. It was on my bachelor party. He goes, I downloaded the Uber and, he was so excited and he had a 5-star rating. He's like, I've got a 5-star passenger rating. And I'm like, I don't even know how that happens. So my wife and I are outside and we're just trying to find something. And I'm like, it doesn't matter where we go. Just make sure they have goddamn shrimp because my mom loves her shrimp scampi. Like she has to have shrimp scampi. So we found this Italian place and I'm like, they better have shrimp scampi. So she goes in and I'm still sitting outside. 3 seconds later, Rachel comes outside. She goes, well, we're going to Chili's. And I'm like, okay, well, do they have shrimp scampi? And she's like, I don't know. Your mom wants to go to Chili's. And I'm like, fantastic. So go inside and we introduce my mom to online menus where you can see the menu online. And then we again talk about Uber Eats and she's very confused. So We end up not going to Chili's. Do you know why, Chris? Do you know why we didn't go to Chili's, Chris?
No shrimp scampi?
No shrimp scampi. No shrimp scampi.
That's really why.
Yeah, that's really why.
Did your mom thought that there was going to be shrimp scampi at Chili's?
Chris, I don't know. I think she thinks that like McDonald's has shrimp scampi because
Gotcha.
she only goes to restaurants that has shrimp scampi. So if they don't have shrimp scampi, she doesn't go there. So she doesn't know other foods.
You never know, though.
Right. You never know.
I mean, sometimes Popeyes might have shrimp scampi. I don't know about McDonald's or anything, but has your mom been tested for mercury poisoning?
I should suggest that, Chris.
I think
don't
you
know that
should.
she has. So St. Augustine is super old. Okay. We've talked about St. Augustine before. If you grew up in Florida, you took your 4th grade field trip to St. Augustine. It's super old. It's so old that like a lot of the restaurants, like they have signs, like when you drive by motels, it say, back in the 80s, it used to say like color TV, and now it says free HBO or free Wi-Fi. St. Augustine is so old that the restaurants have signs that say now climate controlled. Like they just got ACs installed. It's like super weird. And, I wanted to go somewhere downtown, like somewhere, St. Augustine-y, where we could have the history and the old stuff and all that. But, we ended up at Carrabba's that had shrimp scampi.
Only high class establishments for your family.
Yeah. You know what? It didn't matter because we were so hungry and we had been driving and, Rachel's got a nightmare going on at work. So she was pretty much on the phone the entire weekend dealing with the stuff going on at work. I felt terrible for her. But so Carrabba's, and I kept thinking it was a Friday night because the graduation was on Friday and this is Thursday night. I'm like, I walk in and I'm like, man, this place is dead. Like, what's going on? They only had like 2 or 3 servers on. So like everything took forever, which is like, I can't turn it off. Sarah, are you like that when you go to a restaurant? Like you can't turn it off. You can't turn off the restaurant eyes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm looking at the host stand where obviously they had something taped up and they pulled the tape off. And so now the paint is peeling. And I'm like, like a kid had taken crayons and like written on the wall, and I'm like, this place is in disarray.
Yep, I do the exact same thing every time.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is why I don't go out, because I literally don't go out to eat very often. Not because we can't afford it, but just because I cannot turn it off. I see everything, I notice everything that's going on. So anyway. So we get back to the Airbnb. Now, my wife had booked this Airbnb for Thursday night and Friday night. That way, because Friday there was a breakfast in the morning and graduation at night. We didn't want to have to like get dressed for the day and wear the same thing all day. We wanted to be able to relax in between events and all that. So she booked it Thursday night and Friday night. We're going to check out Saturday morning. So we wake up nice and early on Saturday morning and we go to this breakfast and awards show.
Breakfast and awards. Okay. Award show.
Breakfast and awards. Not an award show, but it's an awards breakfast banquet thing.
You're making it sound way more fun than it probably was.
Well, what's really funny is it's at my daughter's school in like their cafeteria. So essentially we got cafeteria food. We got eggs and grits and bacon and sausage, and they had some Dunkin' Donuts. So naturally I loaded up on the Dunkin' Donuts because that was like the real food that was there as opposed to the cafeteria food. So Chris, have you ever been to a high school graduate? Well, you just graduated high school like 3 years ago. Other than yours, have you been to a high school graduation?
I have. I've been to my sister's.
Okay. Was it a large high school?
It's like 400 kids.
Yeah. So it's like an 8-hour ceremony.
It's not fun. If that's what you're getting at. It's horrible. Yes.
Right. Sarah, what about you?
I went to my brother's, but I didn't personally go to my own.
Oh, okay.
So basically, like last minute, I ended up dropping out of pre-calc, and
Smart
ended
move.
up in financial algebra, but it was online, which I really struggled with. So I wasn't sure that I passed until the last minute. And at that point, I was like, you know what? Do I really want to spend all this money and rush to walk with a bunch of people I didn't even like?
That's
And
true.
it's fine. You know what? I
Good way to put
didn't.
it.
And I graduated and all's fine and dandy.
Yeah. Okay. My high school was like 250 kids in the senior class. So it was still long, but it wasn't like ridiculously long. My son's graduated, he had like 900 kids in his senior class. Like it was insane how long it was. Chris, my daughter, 24 kids in her senior class.
Oh, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. That's great.
I know. So we go to this breakfast and awards ceremony. It started at 8 a.m. We were done with breakfast and awards by 8:38 a.m. Like this is all
win awards, right?
Well, they all got awards, but because each one of the graduates got their graduation medallion or whatever. So it was cool. I met her boyfriend, which I hadn't met her boyfriend. He's a super sweet kid.
We should have him on the podcast.
I don't think that's a good idea.
After dark.
Yeah, I think that's even a worse idea. If we have to have him on, we'll have him on for segment 1 of Diz's. So it was a great. So then we do lunch at my daughter's house. Well, my ex-wife was supposed to pick up beer for me, and I skipped a very important detail of the weekend. So after the awards, we're putting in the address for the Airbnb to drive back because, we don't know our way around town. So Rachel pulls up the Airbnb app and I'm like, babe, why does it say checkout today, 10 a.m.? Like checkout is tomorrow at 10 a.m. And she's like, oh crap, it does. And I'm like, well, pull up the confirmation and call them. They've got to fix this. And she's like, maybe I made a mistake. And I'm like, no, that's not possible. There's no way. I'm like, maybe I made the mistake. Maybe I booked it wrong. And she's like, you didn't book it. You don't know how to book it. And I'm like, that's very true. Sure enough, she booked it for only one night.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
So when we go to hotels or Airbnb, we completely unpack. We move in, whether it's one night or
you're one of those
nights.
families.
I am not, but Rachel is. And so by insertion, I've become that.
Well, I mean, not insertion.
Yeah, not really insertion, but by the thought of insertion.
Association.
Association, yeah. Yeah. By a legally binding contract that my wife got suckered into. So we're so she's like, okay, we'll find a hotel. Chris, me and searching for things on the Google is like you and folding laundry. Okay. I don't know what to do. I'm like hotels near me and it's pulling up a bunch of things, but it's going through like travel agents. And I'm like, well, let me call Nick real quick. Nick can fix this for me.
Did you actually?
I should have, because I had so much. I was like, okay, I found a hotel, but I don't know if it's any good. I don't know where it is.
So bad.
So we finally get back to the Airbnb and it's 8:45 and checkout is at 10. So I'm running around trying to pack everything. Again, just like you are with the laundry, I'm not good at packing things. Okay. Clearly as indicated by my period tracking app or the packing. So anyway.
Bad joke, but we'll continue.
Well, yeah, we'll cut that out, Alex. So anyway, I'm packing everything and she's like on the phone trying to see if we can get an extra day at this Airbnb. And they're like, no, we've got someone booked for the next 4 days.
Did you reach out to the people that were moving in?
No. That's confidential information, Chris. So then they're like, but we'll give you some extra time. How does 10:30 sound? Okay. Great. Thanks. So I'm running my mom and my mom, again, I love her so much. She has done so much for me. Not the lowest maintenance person in the world. Okay. But she was a trooper because she could tell that Rachel was already agitated with the situation and herself. So she just packs and sits there quietly and all that. My wife gets us a hotel room at Hilton Garden Inn. It was a really nice hotel. We should have just stayed there the whole time. From the time we walked into the Airbnb to the time that we unpacked at the new hotel, 1 hour.
Oh, that's efficient.
1 hour. Yeah.
That's efficient.
Because, check-in's usually 4:00. Well, we have to go to lunch at my daughter's at noon. So like, what are we going to do? And they got us in early.
Wow.
Yeah. In fact, we had time to spare. Like my mom took a nap. I was trying to find the bar, but the bar was not open yet. I'm like, why is the bar not open? Well, yeah, in my mind, we had been up. Like I thought it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like because we would it was 10:05. But their little I wouldn't call it a gift shop, but their little like food like grab and go thing, they had beer. So
my gosh, it's probably like $14 a beer.
I don't care. I will pay that.
It's your wife's credit card anyway.
I just charged it to the room. Why does your card say Rachel on it?
It's Raquel. It's me.
Yeah. So when I pack for vacations or time away from my wife, I don't know what it is about hotels, but hotels brings out the libido a little bit, if you will, for both. Well, for 1.5 parties. So I get super ambitious with the condom packing, Chris. We're there for 2 nights, so I pack 4 condoms. That's
like 10 times more than you would need.
It was definitely 400% more than what I needed.
Yeah, and then also like what do you say? Like, oh man, what you ready for this graduation, baby? What is romantic about this? I guess just being in somebody else's house. I mean, I should say you have very low standards because you do you do want to have sex when your kids are having sleepovers at your house. But so I guess that was a stupid question for me to ask.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about staying in like a hotel or I don't know. It just brings out the libido in me. And then night 2, we were in a 2 queen bed room. I tried to kick my mom out, but it was just we were so tired and so hungry most of the time that it was just it was very, very ambitious condom packing. So we go to this lunch and I get. So my ex-wife was supposed to bring the beer, doesn't bring the beer. And I don't know if maybe that was by design, but my son's there and I'm like, Darren, let's drive up to Racetrack real quick. So I come back with beer. I get wasted.
Now, does Darren drink a lot too?
No, not at all. And especially not beer.
He's just your like DD.
Yeah. But I wasn't even drunk yet. So I had to take a nap in between lunch and the ceremony. But the ceremony, 55 minutes long.
Oh, you son of a
55
bitch.
minutes long. It was amazing.
You son of a bitch.
But highly stressful weekend. It was great to see my baby girl graduate. I had that moment with her stepdad where I was like, hey, thank you for everything,
Oh, that's cool.
It was a really cool moment. Yeah, I've been meaning to have with him for a while. It just, never was the right moment. And, it was good. It was good.
That's awesome.
Anyway, so we've got a couple voicemails today. A couple. Yeah. So here is the first voicemail.
A wise man once said, "I just died in your arms tonight." I've started taking that quote more literally. You see, as I mentioned last week, I've now made a deal with the devil to take on his job in exchange for saving the No New Friends podcast. That's why I'm at this nursing home today. Alright, I'm sorry, I can't do this bit. I feel like I've officially taken things too far. I'll call back in a moment.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, with that being said, you're listening to the No New Friends podcast. We'll be right back.
There are 3 things that I hate in life: taxes, nausea, and booking vacations. The first 2 I'm stuck with, but for the third, I use Sandpiper Vacations. Sandpiper Vacations is a small business that is LGBTQ+ owned and operated with travel advisors all over the country. Whether it's a cruise, a trip to a theme park, or an all-inclusive resort, Sandpiper has you covered. Oh, and I forgot to mention, it's free. Why book a vacation when you can have someone else do it for you? That's like choosing to take the stairs in a building that has an elevator. Leave the headaches of booking a vacation to someone else. Get your quote today at www.sandpipervacations.com and tell them that the No New Friends podcast sent you.
Psst. Hey, you want to join a cult? Well, this might be your lucky day. For just $2 a month and a simple blood oath, you can join our clubhouse and become a friend with benefits. In addition to the amazing feeling of donating to the poor, you will have access to Patreon exclusive content, live shows, and maybe even a behind-the-scenes look at my secret stash. To get started, head on over to NoNewFriendsPodcast.com and hit join our clubhouse. Can't wait to see you at the initiation ceremony. Oh, and in the chat during our live shows, of course.
If you'd like to hear all of our episodes, all of our past episodes, just visit our website, NoNewFriendsPodcast.com. All of our links to all of our old episodes are there. If you didn't understand an inside joke or just wanted to re-listen to something, just check it out. It's NoNewFriendsPodcast.com, or you can check us out on all streaming platforms.
Hi, this is Jeremy Miller from Growing Pains, and you're watching the No New Friends podcast.
Welcome back to the No New Friends podcast. Don't forget to nominate us for Orlando Weekly's Best of Orlando competition under the category Local Notables, Best Local Podcast, and also Local Big Shot That's Not a Politician, Mary Reedy. So I wanted to mix things up a little bit. We don't typically do games. We've done trivia a couple times, but I wanted to play a game this week.
Ooh.
And yeah, if it goes over well, maybe it's a reoccurring segment. I don't know. We'll see. But it's an audio thing. There's some audio things and all that. So are you guys ready to try this game out?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. Here we go.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? You guys know me. It's Remy, from Remy's Roundtable. So what is going on No New Friends podcast? Check this out. Scott gave me a little, directions for you guys. A little surprise for you guys. So check this out. Happy birthday today to Idina Menzel. Guys, how old is Idina Menzel? And if you guys don't know who she is, she played Elsa in Frozen.
All right. Idina Menzel. Sarah, what do you think?
46.
Birthday game.
46. Okay. Chris, Idina Menzel.
No, are we talking about Idina Menzel or Idina Menzel?
Idina Menzel, which could be different, but they were both in Frozen.
I'm going to say 44.
44. Okay. I know the answer, so Sarah's going to get it. So here we go.
Idina Menzel is 52 years old today.
Nice job, Sarah.
Wow.
Nice job.
She looks great.
Happy birthday today to Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine. He is the lead guitar player for this band. Happy birthday today to Tom Morello. How old is Tom Morello?
Okay, I have no idea who Tom Morello is. Chris, Tom Morello, what do you think?
52.
52. Okay, Sarah?
53.
50. Ooh. All right,
My Price is
let's find
Right
out.
moment.
Yes, I love it.
Well, Tom Morello is 59 years old.
Oh.
Happy birthday to CeeLo Green, also known as Gnarls Barkley. How old is CeeLo Green?
Ooh.
First of all, I didn't know that it was the same person, but
really?
Yeah, CeeLo Green. Sarah, what do you think?
48.
48. And Chris?
I do 55.
55. All right. Let's see how old CeeLo Green is.
Well, guys, CeeLo Green is 49 years old.
Oh, so
and last
close.
and finally, happy birthday today to the scumbag reselling hoarder himself, Chris Yob. Guys, how old is Chris Yob?
All right, Sarah, you're the only one that can guess on this. How old is Chris Yob going to be?
Are you going to be 28?
Well, Chris Yob is 28 years old.
Yes.
And Chris, from all of us here at the round table, happy birthday, man.
Sarah,
awesome.
great job. The clean sweep of the birthday game. And now everybody sit back and relax. It's Chris's birthday episode.
Oh my God, what is this?
Yo, happy birthday, Chris. This is Louis, at the Nerd Archive. I just want to wish you again a happy birthday, and I hope that you have an amazing day and you continue to create epic adventures. Listen, man, I hope that here on your birthday, or not here, but at your house, you get your lightsaber wet. And the other day I was watching Star Wars, and I'm like, is that a Death Star? Or is that just Chris Yob? You happy birthday, dude.
What's happening, everybody? Justin here from the Nerd Archive with a big birthday shout out to everyone's favorite hobbit, Chris Yob. I know you're having another beautiful day up there in the Shire, but make sure to keep an eye out for Gandalf. That wizard's a tricky one. He'll send you on an adventure or try to get you to destroy a ring and make you late for dinner. Hey, all jokes aside, I'm wishing you the happiest of birthdays, and I hope you had an amazing day. Cheers to you, my friend. The next pint is on me.
Bye. You know, another one gone way too soon. He was a good guy, really funny, caring, always helped his mom and dad, was a good husband, was a good friend. I mean, he can be kind of a fucking dick sometimes, and he owes me like $5, so who do I talk to about that? It's his birthday! I mean, that's not really awkward at all. Thanks, Mario. Hey, man. Happy you're not dead and you were born on this day. I hope you have a great and happy birthday. This is Joe, by the way. Just want to let you know. I didn't really announce that at the beginning, but I'm announcing it right now. So just so you didn't know, it's me, Joe. And that wasn't really Mario. That was me doing a Mario voice.
Hey, this is Dane from Big Beautiful Diz. Here to wish Mr. Christopher Yob a very happy birthday. I wish we could celebrate in person and have a drink, but as you know, I'm unable to drink yet, so I guess another Shady Maple Smorgasbord trip is in order. Or the Renaissance Fair, since you still want me that. Anyway, hope you have a great birthday. I don't know how old you're turning, but based on your height, I'm glad you're finally 5 years old. No, seriously, hope you have a good one. And hopefully I'll see you soon.
Hey, No New Friends podcast and the crew members there. So I want to talk to a very special, now this is coming from my heart. And no, this is not coming from ChatGPT. Yes, I know I use it a lot on the round table. I know you guys get sick and tired of hearing this, but this is a shout out to a very, 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 close friend of ours who is the scumbag reselling hoarder himself, Chris Yob. So I first met Chris. I met him through Joe from Diz His, and he came on Diz Journey, which was a spin-off between Diz His and Remy's Roundtable. We kind of got together like once a month and just talk about theme parks and talk about just our lives and stuff. So Chris jumped on, and and he's been a friend ever since. And I'm happy that he's also a diehard Eagle fan as well. So I'm happy about that. But Chris, from all of us here at the round table, we just want to say happy birthday, my guy. Happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
That's right, Chris. Happy birthday. And guys, and you're listening to the No New Friends podcast.
Chris Yob, Yabba the Hutt, the Green Yoblin. This is the Sophisticated Gentleman, and I'm calling to wish you a very happy birthday. Don't eat too much cake, stay out of garages, and beware of mountain men and Instagram scammers this year. In the past year, your hosting of and discussions on After Dark have been so impactful and so important. Truly, truly inspirational. You've been able to combine comedy with serious topics, and you should be incredibly proud of that. Personally, I count myself very fortunate to consider you a friend. Happy birthday, my dude.
This is Big Country from Studio 21, the baseball podcast. I'd like to send a big shout out to the scumbag reselling hoarder himself, Chris Yob. A big happy birthday, my friend. Sláinte mhath, my friend.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Mr. Co-host.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you, Chris, from the team over here at Ashes to Awesome Podcast. Have a great year, buddy.
That's good.
Well, Chris, you did it. You lived another year. Despite Princess Leia trying to choke you to death with that chain, you're still here. I know we've never really seen eye to eye. It's always been more like eye to navel. But all joking aside, Chris, I hope you have a happy birthday. And Remy Willing, here's to many, many more.
Happy birthday, Chris! You're a poopy butt. Happy birthday, Chris! You're a poopy butt. You're beautiful, poopy. Happy birthday, Chris! You're the poopy butt cheater, and you are the best friend, and you are the birthday party. This is the No New Friends podcast.
Happy birthday, Yabba the Hutt. Hey, this is Sean from Sandpiper Vacations, wishing that sexy scumbag reselling hoarder Chris Yob a very sexy birthday. You could yob on my hut anytime.
Pretty sure that Chris's percentage of gayness just went up to 69%. And this is Nick from Sandpiper Vacations. Normally, I would be here leaving a message, talking to you about Disney or booking a trip to a all-inclusive resort or Universal or a cruise. But today, I'm going to talk to you about Idaho. Idaho has some really fantastic birthday celebrations, birthday traditions. One of those traditions is that on your birthday, you take the day off. But in Chris's case, he just doesn't work any day. Chris, I'm not really the best at writing jokes, and I searched the internet for about probably 3 hours to try to find the perfect birthday message, and I just gave up. So recently, Chris discovered a new shot called a green tea shot. He discovered this while he was in a gay bar in Philadelphia. Chris, your percentage just continues to keep going up, and I'm really not mad about it. I'm very happy to have you on our team. So thank you very much for coming out on your birthday, coming out of the closet, supporting us and the gay community. Let's raise a glass to Chris. Or in Chris's case, let's raise a box. Here's one of my favorite toasts that one of our local drag queens always does. Here's to the slit that never heals. The more you rub it, the better it feels. Long, wide, thick or thin, Chris is sure to get it in. Happy birthday, Chris.
That's amazing.
Hello, brother Chris. It is me, Buba. Happy birthday to brother Chris. May God continue blessing you. I wish you happy birthday. May the years be a blessing years, brother. May Lord continue keep on blessing you in Jesus Christ.
To the scumbag reselling hoarder himself, also known as my husband, happy 28th birthday. I love you so much. You have turned into such an amazing person, and I am just honored that I was able to watch you get to this point and to continue to watch you grow as well. I love you so much, and have a great birthday.
Happy birthday, Chris. And
thank
you, everybody.
Oh, thank you for putting that together. Oh my gosh. I was not expecting that at all.
I had so much fun, and I had so much fun listening to everybody's messages and putting it together. Let me tell you, the Bubba Jobe thing was at 11 o'clock last night. I was like, oh my God, I forgot to reach out to Bubba Jobe. So I messaged him on Instagram and I said, "Hey, I've got a good friend of mine. He's a big fan of yours. Can you just say this is Bubba Jobe? Happy birthday, Chris." That's all. And he went on. He sent me a video and all that. And I woke up to that this morning and I was so excited.
That was incredible. From start to finish. The Bubba Jobe was the icing on the cake. I cannot believe. Way better than my fake translator that I've been using. Ending segment 1 and getting into segment 2, I couldn't breathe. I was so excited. Oh, geez. Well, before we move on, geez, thank you, each and every one of you who reached out to do that. I was not expecting that at all. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Love each and every one of you. That was really great, and that made my day really special. Seriously, thank you so much, and thank you, Scott, really for putting that together. That was really cool.
My pleasure. Anything for good content.
The word history comes from ancient Greece, first used by Aristotle. Historians seek knowledge of the past using historical sources. I use Google. This is The Hiz with Alex. Since Scott's mom loves shrimp scampi, let's talk about the history of it. Shrimp scampi could also be referred to as Norway lobster, but it actually is a variation of an Italian scampi dish, which originally is served with scampi, which is another species of crustacean different than shrimp. Scampi is a mini lobster also known as Dublin Bay prawn, which is not found near the US. When Italians moved to America, they decided to cook their beloved scampi dish and replace the mini lobster or scampi with shrimp. This dish was named shrimp scampi, which technically doesn't make sense since it contains no scampi. But hey, for all you shrimp scampi lovers, it is National Shrimp Scampi Day every April 28th. I also wanted to say happy birthday to Chris. We have really grown close in the few years I've known you. You went from a fan of my podcast to a late night gaming buddy to now a full-fledged friend. We game together, we pod together, we talk every day. I'm glad you Googled popular Disney history podcast and Just His came up. Happy birthday, man.
You're listening to the No New Friends podcast. We'll be right back.
Hey, everybody, why don't you give the old Black Lincoln Collective podcast a listen? We're funny, we're fat, and we're here 24/7 at blcpodcast.com. Anytime you want to listen, anywhere, all your favorite podcast apps. Of course, we have a YouTube channel where you can stream live with the show. Check out our shorts. We're funnier the less you hear of us. That's been a Black Lincoln Collective podcast at blcpodcast.com.
Picture it, St. Augustine, Florida, 2022. You're on the Night Watchman Ghost Tour with all of your ghoul friends. The air grows colder, you turn the corner, and there she is, Ghost Mary. Okay, you probably won't run into Ghost Mary. You may see a ghost named Mary. I'm not really 100% sure, but the tour guides for the Night Watchman Ghost Tour from See America Tours do know it is the only 4D ghost tour in St. Augustine. So if you have ever wondered what a ghost smells like, well, now is your chance. And right now they have a scary good deal going on. Enter the promo code NNF as in No New Friends and receive 25% off your Night Watchman Ghost Tour. So visit them at seeamericatours.net. That is SEE americatours.net. Okay, bye.
Hey there, Scott here. You all know I like to spend time wandering the neighborhood on my big wheels or hanging out at the park with my fedora and my Bud Light. So I don't have time to clean my own house. That's why I've been using I Believe services for the past 6-7 years, and they're the best in commercial and residential cleaning. They're also doing carpet shampooing at such a reasonable price. Just check them out. That's ibelieveservices.us. Give them a call, 407-928-4595, and tell them that the No New Friends podcast sent you.
Hey guys, comedian James John, and you are listening to the No New Friends podcast.
Welcome back to the No New Friends podcast. Thank you so much for sitting through that segment. That was so much fun to do and to watch Chris's reaction. And usually I let everybody host on their birthday episodes, and both Chris and I agreed that was not the best idea. So
that was my gift to you all, is not letting me host.
All right, we've got part 2 of voicemail real quick.
All right, I'm back. Now I'm at a cemetery. Wonder if Jimmy Carter's here yet. Oh, look, there's Tabitha Van Hayes. Anyways, as I was saying, I've taken over the devil's job, which of course relates to death. Because of that, I've decided to reflect on some of the most interesting ways people have died so I can be as prepared as possible to make some deals. In 1899, Felix Farr died while engaging in BJ's wholesale with his mistress. Some people excite so easily, eh, Scott? In 1931, Arnold Bennett wanted to prove his wife wrong when she said that the water in Paris wasn't safe to drink. He did not prove his wife wrong. Seems like the French surrendered their water quality as well. I wish Mary would surrender her drugs. In 1974, Basil Brown, a health food advocate, ate 70 million units of vitamin A and drank 10 gallons of carrot juice in 10 days. His skin turned bright yellow before his death. No, Chris, this isn't an excuse to dress up as a different culture. That would still be offensive. In 2008, an unknown woman had an allergic reaction after having sex with a German Shepherd after meeting the dog's owner in a bestiality chat room. I already used my Scott joke, but this really doesn't apply to Sarah, so good on you, Sarah. The bar is set so low on this podcast. Finally, 2 years after Rasputin's infamous death cycle, in 1914, Julian Carlton, a servant for Frank Lloyd Wright, went on a mass murder spree at Wright's studio with a hatchet, setting the studio on fire. Then he survived drinking hydrochloric acid, was lynched, arrested, and then starved before he met his demise. Which means our other story must be from New Jersey. I'm just kidding. Who would want to go to New Jersey? Well, it looks like over here I've just been given my first assignment in this new job. Maybe I'll get to go to a covered bridge. Let's see who I have to go make a deal with first. It looks like the name is Chris Jobe. What side would you guys have been on in the Battle of Little Bighorn?
So usually when the sophisticated gentleman, I can't say his name, when the sophisticated gentleman calls us from a certain place, he he sends us a picture in our Discord, which if you're not a part of our Discord, you can be by going to nonewfriendspodcast.com, joining our clubhouse on Discord. So I'm waiting for this picture of him at a nursing home or cemetery, and I don't know which one I want more.
Oh, he gave up on the pictures. Chris would be really, really happy if sophisticated gentleman, if you could maybe call next time from a Chippendale show.
Oh,
yeah. Or just, you're in Ohio, Nick and Sean are in Ohio, just go to their house and,
same thing.
Same thing. You guys ready to play Jersey Man, Florida Man?
Always.
Yes, of course.
Whether flipping a fan boat or crashing a truck, these states are filled with people who suck. So it's time for us to play New Jersey Man versus Florida Man.
Every week, Ryan brings us two news stories. One is from Jersey, one is from Florida. It's up to us to figure out which one is which. Take it away, Ryan.
Hey guys, this is Ryan coming to you from the No New Friends newsroom located this week at a potential house for Chris to buy. With his busy schedule, Chris asked me to stop by and check out this place and write down some pros and cons about it and see if it was something he'd be interested in. For starters, the neighborhood is a little rough. Even the rats are carrying knives in this neighborhood. Still, the neighborhood is nicer than 90% of Florida. On a positive note, I passed a bagel shop on the way here named Baggles. They sell bagels by the bag. Chris looks like the type that could down a trash bag full of bagels, so I'll mark that as a pro. Well, from the outside of the house looks to be one story, so that means Scott will call you poor for as long as you live here. The house next door has an ugly dog tied up in the yard. Hope he isn't a barker. What the hell kind of dog is that? Had a man bun and glasses. That might be a pro for Scott, but I don't think Chris will like that. Anyways, let's go inside and check out this place. Oh no, there's 3 stairs to get into the house. Anything over 2 stairs and Chris just gets winded. Right off the bat, I see more than 2 rooms, so that's twice as many as Chris has now. That's a pro. This place has 7-foot ceilings. That's like 20-foot ceilings for Chris. I'm going to mark that as a pro as well. Well, I don't see a dishwasher, so that means Chris has got to load his dirty dishes up and drive them over to his parents' house to use their dishwasher. Oh great, there's already a shower caddy in this shower. That's a major plus since Chris has no idea how to install one. Looks like there's only 1 washer and dryer, so Scott will call you poor for that as well. The longer I spend in here, the more cockroaches I see. I guess that makes sense since they are the official animal of New Jersey, because they most closely represent the people that live there. I'm not sure this is the place for you, Chris. So while I walk back to the car, let's get into this week's Florida Man or Jersey Man.
That's really good.
Damn it, I forgot about the dog out here. In our first story, a man steals rare coins from a friend and cashed them in at a Coinstar. And for our second story, a man in the Air Force is convicted of a federal crime after being 6 minutes late to a meeting.
Oh, okay. Chris, what do you think? You got Coinstar or military tardy?
First of all, I just want to say that I feel like every couple Jersey Man versus Florida Man is my new favorite. Like he just doesn't miss. Like, it's just
No,
so
he
good
doesn't
every
miss.
week. That one was so good and hit very close to home. Not my home because I don't own one. I'm gonna say stealing the coin is New Jersey. Love stealing things up here.
Okay.
For legal reasons, not me, but people I know. And the other one would be Florida.
Okay. Sarah, what do you think?
I'm going to go the opposite. Just stealing whatever coins out of desperation to probably buy whatever, crazy thing they're going to drugs or
meth.
who knows.
Yep. Exactly.
Pretty much.
Yep.
So I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah, I'm going to agree 100% with Sarah. I feel like Coinstar is this huge thing down here in Florida because you need the extra bill. The drug dealers don't take coins. They only take bills. And I could see someone in Florida stealing rare coins and using it at the Coinstar. So I'm going to go Coinstar, Florida, and military tardy, Jersey. All right, let's find out the answers.
So our first story was from Florida, where a man steals $33,000 worth of rare coins from a friend. But after getting discouraged with trying to sell them to pawn shops, he cashed them in at a Coinstar for $30. This guy is a worse scumbag reseller than Chris is. So that means our second story is from New Jersey, where a 12-year veteran of the Air Force is being convicted of a federal crime after being 6 minutes late to a meeting. He's being charged with failing to go to his appointed place of duty. Scott hates it when things are late. Most of the time it ends in a baby shower. Or if Scott's involved, I like to call them what they actually are, a surprise party. And in other news, Billy Joel's Uptown Girl helps a lost bird find its way home. The bird, named Joel after Billy Joel, flew out the window while his owner was loading her groceries. Why the bird was in the car, I'm not sure. The owner of the bird put up lost bird signs saying that the bird reacted to Billy Joel music. Somebody later found the bird, and to figure out if it was the bird that she was looking for, played Billy Joel for it. The bird started dancing, proving that it was the bird that they were looking for. It's a good thing this bird wasn't named Bono after the lead singer of U2, or else Mary would have shot this thing as soon as it flew out the window. That's it from me this week, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
That was super funny. And the best part of that whole thing was seeing Sarah's reaction when she found out that the value of the coins were $30,000 and he got $30.
Oh my God.
Everybody check in on your Sarah after that.
I'm going to buy a Coinstar.
Right? Just put it in the ghetto. That's you can make bank in the ghetto.
A white ghetto or a...
Mostly the white ghetto. Mostly the white ghetto. Put them near trailer parks. You're good. Chris, you got any Cliff Note tonight?
I Cliff Note.
Well, I mean, the whole second segment was for you.
I do actually. Whenever you talk, I have Cliff Notes.
It's been quite the show. A lot of stuff's happened, so nothing can stop this little boy from recapping the day the Chris's Cliff's Notes way.
So Scott's daughter graduated from high school this weekend. Big whoop, because I actually graduated this weekend as well. No one congratulated me. I graduated from Weight Watchers. Dropped out, but same thing. I have now passed that. Scott tried to make his family go on a ghost tour in the pouring rain. And now everybody listening knows how I feel when he asked me to do just one more episode each week. Just one more. Just one more.
Just one more.
Scott was talking about how old St. Augustine is. It is. He actually helped build it. It's actually so old, they still have whites only signs up everywhere. Oh, actually, that's just because it's Florida. That's actually current. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So that's a mistake.
Yeah.
While in St. Augustine, Scott's mom wanted a good dinner, so she decided to go to Chili's. With standards that low, I thought you were talking about Scott's wife.
Wow. Wow.
Scott talked about how horrible it is to go to a big graduation. You're right. You know, you're waiting all that time just to get that 3 seconds of euphoria. Scott, now you know what it's like to be young and have sex.
I saw the punchline coming. I saw the punchline coming a mile away.
And that was actually my last cliff note. The rest of my cliff notes I actually wrote earlier, and it's a little different today. Since this is my birthday episode, I figured that I would tell everyone my wishes. I know it's bad taboo to give wishes, but I just feel like if I didn't, Scott would get mad at me because it's probably good content. So I'm going to tell you my wishes. If they don't come true, it's Scott's fault. So
that's fine.
Now
I'm okay with that.
Yes, of course you are. So I do want to warn everybody that I was writing these on my phone while driving. So autocorrect may have altered the first couple, but I do want to let you know that I did find a parking lot after the first couple and I wrote the rest, but I did not read everything over because this was an hour ago. So
by the way, the No New Friends podcast does not endorse texting and writing and driving.
So
alcohol's fine.
So first of all, I wish for peace. Wait a second. No. Oh, I meant to put, I wish for pizza. Way more realistic. There's no money in world peace. I swear, if I was the reason for world peace, Obama would send a drone right through my window. So yes, definitely not peace. Okay. Second. So again, sorry, I'm driving when I'm doing this. I wish to travel intensely and kill baby. Hee hee. Oh, wait a second. I got to decipher this. I'm sorry. This is all in live time. Okay, here's what I went. I wish to travel back in time and kill baby Hitler. Okay, makes more sense. Makes way more sense. Okay, so this is the part. This
Sarah
is
liked that one.
That one was for Sarah. This is the this is the part where I found the parking lot. So the rest are way more easier to read. I wish to travel back in time and kill the person who invented racism. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I also wish to travel back in time and kill the person who invented algebra. Also a good one.
Okay.
Could be the same person.
It could be.
I wish that I was a better texter. Well, I don't wish that, but I'm sure my friends and family do. And by friends and family, I mean Scott. I wish that Scott would stop ignoring the do not disturb my phone in the morning to let me know that we're recording tonight.
True story.
I know. It's on my calendar.
When I see do not disturb is on, notify anyway, I hit that white button, notify anyway. Chris actually called me. He's like, I don't understand. I keep putting my phone on do not disturb, but somehow your notifications keep getting through. I'm like, yeah, don't silence. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Don't silence my text. I'm going to notify you anyway.
When I'm laying in bed at 11 in the morning and I hear zzz, and I look up and it's like Scott, it's like, hey, you up? I'm like, yeah, now I am.
At 11 a.m.
All right, a few more wishes. I wish that PETA would shift their focus to other species, such as hermit crabs. I just feel like there's probably a need for that. I wish that someone would accept an offer that I put on a house so I can stop lying about recording live from the Sandpiper Studios when in actuality I'm barely alive from my parents' basement. And lastly, I've spent 28 years of my life on this earth. And for as long as I can remember, I've been extremely talented in losing things. So much so that my patron saint for my confirmation was St. Anthony, who is the saint you pray to when you lose something. And I swear I speak to St. Anthony more than I speak to my wife. So anyway, my last wish is that I would stop losing things and finally lose some fucking weight. And those are my cliff notes.
Very nice, Chris. Very nice.
It's been quite the show. A lot of stuff's happened, so nothing can stop this little boy from recapping the day the Chris's Cliff's Notes way.
Don't forget to check out our Wednesday episode, No New Friends Podcast After Dark Edition. And this week's going to be a really, really good one. It's one of our more serious topics. We've got someone on who has started a nonprofit organization, and it's a very, very unique one. And I don't want to really spoil it, but it's a good one. There's going to be some trigger warnings, which we'll tell you all about on Wednesday. But you're definitely going to want to check that out. Don't miss it. That's No New Friends After Dark every Wednesday night.
One little spark of inspiration is at the heart of all creation. Right at
Hey, it's Alex from Diz His. You know me, you know Joe, you definitely know Chris, and you know Jen. Well, we're the hosts of Diz His, the Disney History Podcast. Every week we take one Disney subject and go over the history, as well as our insight on the subject. We talk about other Disney topics, as well as what's new in the news. You can find us on all podcast platforms, or go to our website, dizhiz.com. That's DIZHIZ.com. And we're on all social media at DizHiz65.
Chris, what do you got coming up on Diz His?
Yeah, so before I get into what we did on Diz His this week, which is a good episode, this isn't a super long story, but it was a weekend trip, if you will. Every once in a while, I just, we like to explore new things, and this weekend I just felt like flicking the bean. So this weekend, I reached out to Nick from Sandpiper, who you wouldn't think would be, expert in flicking the bean. So, because, he's not familiar with that area, if you will. So,
I don't know that I'm familiar with that area. I don't know this innuendo, but continue.
Wow. You have a lot to learn, my friend. So anyway,
Sarah understands it very well. She's like, yeah, Lewis flicked my bean 3 hours ago.
Wow. Scott, you're using it very well, not knowing what it is.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I, of course, who else do I call?
Sarah's dying over here. Sorry. This is Sarah. We've broken Sarah.
Just a little bit.
So when I'm imagining flicking this bean, I was like, who else to call but Nick? So I call up Nick and I was like, listen, I have an urge to flick the bean this weekend. What can you do for me? And, he gives me, he gives me advice on how to get there and how to do it and everything, how to perform, how to, So, but during the conversation, we had a lot of talk. Like, we have very deep conversations. And this week, something major happened. And it really hit home with Nick. And, we usually save the deep topics for after dark, but I just feel obliged to talk about this now. So the Oscar Mayer Wiener car, have you heard about that story?
Yeah. The story? No. I know about the Oscar Mayer Wiener mobile.
Are you sure?
I know Remy's got a big old wiener just looking at it.
I have some news for you, Scott.
What?
And this is the controversy. The Wienermobile is no more. It is now the Frankmobile.
Oh.
And the way that Nick said to me, because he's very passionate about this, he said, listen, you could take the wiener out of the name, but you'll never take the wiener out of me. And that just resonated with me. And anyway, so he got me my plane tickets to Chicago, and I was able to actually see the bean in person. And I went up and gave it a little flick. So Chicago is great this weekend. The Windy City is beautiful. I encourage anybody who is interested in visiting Chicago to reach out to Sandpiper Vacations. But you know what? If you're more interested in taking a cruise, you should probably contact them because their forte is cruises. Cruises, Disney trips, Disneyland trips. Hit him up. He's really good at what he does.
Universal Studios, birthday trips to Idaho. Loves them all equally.
Can't wait for. I'll tell you what. Just a little bit of realness away from the jokes. Nick has been so thorough with this trip that he booked for me and my family and my neighbors too for Alaska. It's been awesome. He's been emailing us every so often, updating us with our trip and say, "Hey, it's time to do this. It's time to do that. Make sure your passports are in order." It's the travel agent thing doesn't go just as far as booking the vacations. He's like holding your hand every step of the way. And it's just a really awesome service that is just insane that it costs you nothing. And if you don't use a travel agent, I'm sorry, but you're just stupid. Just go to sandpipervacations.com, fill out a free quote and tell them that a New Friends podcast sent you. Nick's really good at holding my hand through the process. Let him hold your hand too. And if you're lucky,
he'll hold other things too.
Anyway, on Diz His this week, it's a little bit different. Joe has stepped away from the show for a little bit, so it's Alex and I for this foreseeable future. Alex, who edits the podcast, you hear like one line, "Hey guys, I'm the guy that edits the podcast," or the "Hola" in the beginning of, that's a very good Alex impression, by the way, in the very beginning of our episode. So it's really fun.
We also does the history too. Do you not listen to our whole episodes?
Alex, cut that. So we do the history on the Polynesian Village Resort. And it's awesome. It's a really cool history. So tune in if you want to know more about the Polynesian. And if you want to go visit the Polynesian Village Resort, go to sandpipervacations.com.
And if you want to learn history of, Mother's Day or, washers and dryers, laundry, handshakes, other really fun and random things, just listen to our entire episode and you'll get the history on some random thing that we said during the episode. Real quick, before we end everything, I love Polynesian. And it's funny, as a kid, I would ride the monorail and it just looked so boring to me. It looked just brown and drab and whatever. And, clearly I don't love brown things. So
I was not going to make that joke, but I was thinking it. I was like, no, I'm not going to go there.
I saw it in your face. I do love brown things. I voted for Obama. My son actually took me to the Polynesian after my annual pass holder preview at Tron. And he's like, well, let's we can grab drinks there because you can't drink at Magic Kingdom. And then we watched the fireworks afterwards.
Yeah.
Like right on the beach. And I was able to drink and watch the fireworks and they pumped the music in. And this has been like my new favorite thing. I brought my wife and my daughter we went to Kona Cafe, had dinner, and then watched the fireworks on the beach. It's like this amazing
really cool
experience. Yeah. You get to see the fireworks straight on with the music. You also get to see the Bay Lake Electrical Parade. It's a really, really neat experience.
Before we stop talking about the Polynesian, I do want to mention that this is part of the episode, but I want to mention it here because it's just so ridiculous. Is that when they first opened the Polynesian, they put a wave machine in the lagoon, and they let people swim and surf in the lagoon.
Yeah, yeah. It's I would say within the last 20 years they stopped allowing swimming because they had part of that beach like roped off that you could swim in that thing.
That's crazy.
So
it's a
gross
class action lawsuit like waiting to happen.
Oh yeah. That's why River Country is closed with all the amoebas and snakes and gators and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, you can connect with Diz His. That's Diz His Pod on all social media.
Yeah.
Diz His Pod, and then just do that because they have a link tree now and not the website. Just listen to the episodes. They'll give all their contact information there. But you can always check them out. Don't forget to check out After Dark Hour Wednesday episode. We've got some other great podcasts to tell you about. Ashes to Awesome with Chuck, who talks about the rise and recovery from addiction. Also, Don't Wreck Yourself, where Ryan takes a look at what's wrecking the internet and kind of debunks that. It's a really, really good show. The Black Lincoln Collective podcast. They talk about random stuff. It's super funny, just like this one. A Mental Health Moment with Dr. Edward Samaro. I don't know if it's live yet. I don't know if they're still on hiatus. I have no idea. Chris, what you got for us?
Studio 21, the baseball podcast, where Big Country and C Money break down what's going on in the MLB. Then we have Big Beautiful Diz over there on YouTube, putting up weekly videos. He just finished up his, I'm pretty sure it was his 5th installment in his Disney park vlogs. He visited Disney, which was an awesome series. So go check him out for history on defunct attractions and much, much more. Then we have the Podfather himself, Remy's Roundtable, and our very own Sophisticated Gentleman. He's doing an awesome job. And they do Florida theme park history. So whatever's going on in Florida and theme parks in Florida, it's a really fun podcast where they do game shows and have guest spotlights, and it's a really fun listen. So I strongly encourage you to listen to them as well.
And Sarah, what's coming up on the Nerd Archive podcast?
They're talking about new nerdy theories and the movies that they don't like. That's going to be in this new episode. And the new Fast 10 movie. We sat down in the theater and I was like, I had my food and my drink and I was ready. And I'm like, okay, this is the last Fast and Furious movie. I'm here for it. And Lewis looks over at me. He's like, there's 2 more, right? I'm like, no, this is the last one. That's why we're here. And he's like, no, there's 2 more. So I get to experience, I love them, but I get to experience this 2 more times. But yep, they're going to be talking all about that this week.
Awesome. You can connect with us, all of our social media links right there on our website, nonewfriendspodcast.com. Check out our really sweet merchandise. Join our Clubhouse, become a friend with benefits. That's our Patreon. You can watch these things as they happen live. And every week we also stream segment 1 and all of After Dark on Twitch. So check that out. It's NNF Podcast on Twitch. All of our links again on our social media. Vote for us. Nominate us for Orlando Weekly's Best of Orlando competition under the category Local Notables, Best Local Podcast, and also Biggest Local Big Shot that's not a politician, Mary Reedy. On behalf of this sophisticated gentleman, Game Master Ryan, everybody that left a voicemail, Bubba Jobe, our producer Alex, Sarah, Chris, Mary, I'm Scott. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.